Welcome to Eat Your DNA. Join me as I start my healthy eating journey based on my DNA and ancestry. My name is Angela, and my philosophy is that our DNA is our personalized blueprint to healthier living. If you ever struggle to figure out which foods to eat, you're in the right place. You can stop guessing and worrying about what to eat or trying to follow the latest fad diet. Let your genetics tell you which foods you should eat. Eat your DNA. So today I'm super excited because we're going to talk about a controversial question. Are you eating for the wrong race? Make sure to stay to the end where I'll tell you the world's most imported food, and you can start looking into whether or not it's a good choice for you. Okay, let's do this. First of all, there is no such thing as the wrong race. They're all good. What I mean when I say race is eating based on your DNA and your ancestry. Eating for your race makes scientific sense, but most of us have never really heard about or even considered eating based on our DNA or race. Some people might consider this a controversial topic, but I don't think it should be. The idea that we should not all be eating the exact same thing isn't really a new one. Let's talk about a few examples. So you've probably heard about the blood type diet. This is the diet where you eat based on your blood type, obviously, and there are 4 blood types: A, B, and O. This diet came out in 1996 and it was pretty popular for a while. It's still around, but you hear less and less about it. First of all, it's hard to follow and there really isn't much evidence to support it. Good news is that the recommended diet for 3 of the blood types, A, B, and O, are generally healthy. It's like lots of fruits and vegetables, so you're probably okay if you follow any of those 3. And type B is mostly meat and dairy. Another diet based on personal physiology is the body type diet, and this one you eat based on your body's shape. According to this diet, there's 3 body types: ectomorph, long and lanky; mesomorph, more muscular; and endomorph, which has more body fat. Men with this body type are called stocky, women are called curvaceous. No one would argue that common body compositions might have similar metabolic responses and have similar needs, but there are a few issues with the body type diet. Once again, there's not a lot of conclusive research and data to prove that it's effective, and also people misjudge their body types and have a combination of body types, so it can be difficult to know which one to follow. But similar to the blood type diet, none of these body type diets are unhealthy, so following one of them is probably not going to be dangerous. But this is a good time for me to add, you should always follow your physician's advice before beginning any new eating plan, including eating your DNA. So if I'm not saying that you should eat based on your blood type or body type, what am I saying? What am I saying with Eat Your DNA? I'm suggesting that we eat based on our DNA profile and our ancestry. Yes, our race. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Anya. Anya's from an island in the Caribbean. She and her people are healthy, strong, live free from most diseases. They eat and grow what grows around them: maize, beans, squash, tomatoes, cacao, peppers, cassava, pumpkins, peanuts, pineapples, avocados, guavas, and what they catch from the sea. They've been eating like this for tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of years. They live a long time and they die of natural causes. In 1490 a ship rolls in from a faraway land that Anya later learned is called Europe. And the Europeans seem to enjoy the food that Anya and her people share with them, but they claim that it's not right for them. They're not used to it, and that makes sense. New foods might not agree with them, but this assertion that the food is not right allows the Europeans to claim that the food is inferior to their own. Colonization, racism, whole nother video for a whole nother day. Back to our story. On subsequent voyages to Anya's island, the Europeans bring more of their own food. They introduce animals like pigs and cows and plants like wheat, and soon Anya and her people find themselves growing wheat and eating things like bread and olive oil, wine, and even cheese. But what's more important and damaging, in my opinion, is that Anya and her people are no longer eating many of the foods that they had been eating for thousands of years. Ultimately, the diet and the life of the people, the Taino, is completely changed and destroyed. So it's almost 600 years later, a quick blip in the history of mankind, and many of the Taino have been wiped out from disease and war, but Anya's DNA is still out there, and one of her descendants could be you. You have modern technology, you get your DNA done, and you discover that you're from the same area as Anya. So my question is, are you eating foods like corn, beans, squash your ancestors ate and adapted to over thousands of years? The foods that have the vitamins and minerals that your DNA is begging for? Not really. Maybe once in a while. Certainly not every day. What you're eating are foods indigenous to and grown in other places on the other side of the world, for other people with different DNA and ancestry than yours. It's okay to eat some of those foods some of the time, but I believe the problems occur when we only or mostly eat the wrong foods for our genetic makeup. You've heard Anya's story before. As a matter of fact, I'll share a link below to a video about a group of people who amazingly are still mostly living as they have for millennia and eating the foods they're meant to eat. But that rarely happens. What usually happens, we read the articles, we watch the documentaries, is groups of people are healthy and thriving until colonists or explorers or missionaries or journalists show up. And as soon as they begin eating new foods, the Western diet, the indigenous people begin to have all kinds of health issues. And that's where we are hard now. Studies show that 66% of what most people eat is grown somewhere else. It's not for them. Traditional diets and indigenous crops have been replaced by the Western diet. And over the last 30 years, Western diets have taken over the globe. And not surprisingly, global obesity rates and diet-related illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease have also skyrocketed. We're not eating the foods that our DNA is telling us to eat. So what's my answer to this? What am I saying? What can you do? Get your DNA done and just find out where you're really from and what you should be eating. Even if you only incorporate a few of those foods some of the time, imagine how good that will be for your body. If you're feeling resistance, maybe getting uncomfortable or angry, ask yourself why. Are you concerned that you might have to stop eating the food you want or have to eat strange foods you never heard of? Are you worried that your diet will be different than your friends who have different backgrounds than yours? Remember, it's your choice how much you want to incorporate these foods based on your DNA and ancestry into your diet. You might find yourself eating a lot of new things or maybe one or two new foods. At least find out where you're from and what your body wants you to eat. Maybe you're afraid that some people will turn eating foods based on ancestry into a political issue. It's happened before, right? I just told you the story about Anya. But I look at it like this. When people eat the wrong foods, their bodies and their spirits suffer. I'm not going to let politics stop me from eating the foods my body prefers. I'm determined to try to do what I can to live a longer and healthier life. So there's no wrong race, but there is eating the wrong foods for you, or at least not eating the right foods for you. I hope you'll join me as I discover what we should be eating. I absolutely love knowing where I'm from and which foods I should be eating, and I want you to be as excited about your ancestry too. Learning about the best foods for you is kind of fun and liberating. So I told you to stick to the end, and I would tell you what the world's most imported food is. Bananas. Bananas, right? In 2020, the US imported the most bananas globally with 4.7 million units valued at almost $3 billion. Almost 67% of all Americans purchase bananas. Here's a question for you. Are bananas one of the foods you should be eating based on your DNA? An easy way to find out is to get a list of foods from Genopalette. You get your DNA done, you'll find out your countries of origin and where you're from, and you'll also get a list of your top foods. I haven't found anything like it, and I even have a code below where you can get $10 off your order. So if you've learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to join me as we learn together, please subscribe. It's good information whether or not you're getting a DNA test, and it's totally free. You can also find out more about services that I offer to help you create a master list of foods based on your countries of origin, yes, so that you're eating for the right race. Remember, give your body what it wants and eat your DNA.